Hello, everybody. This is Iman, that Philly wholesaler chick, and tonight I have Sharon Vornholt, who's actually from the Louisville, Kentucky area. You may know her as she has a blog, Louisville Gals, right? Sharon, is that correct?
It's Louisville Gals Real Estate Blog.
Louisville Gals Real Estate Blog. So if you haven't checked Sharon out, you may want to check her out there as well. And so tonight, pretty much what we're going to be discussing is some more strategies and tips on direct mail marketing and systematizing all of that. But before we get into all of that, I just want to give a little background, and Sharon will take it from here. But Sharon has 17 years in the home inspection industry, and has also owned some rental properties and done rehab. So at this point, I'm just going to turn it over to Sharon and allow Sharon to share with us, a little bit about herself, and then, get into talking about some direct mail marketing. So if you can just share with us, Sharon, how you even got started in the home inspection industry and how you, how you wound up as a real estate investor. So.
Well, hi, Iman, and thanks for having me today. I opened the home inspection business in December of 1991, and had that business for 17 years as, was a family-owned business. And during that time, of course, you meet a lot of realtors in the home inspection business. So I got to know a lot of realtors, and I just ran across someone who went to our local RIA, which in Kentucky is called CREA. So I started going to the meetings, and it was about 1998 then I started really looking to buy my first investment property. And I kind of started out backwards, I think, because I did a couple of rehabs. Then I bought a couple of rentals. I did another rehab. My original plan was to do a rehab and buy 2 rentals, and that was my plan.
Right.
And our plans kind of changed along the way. I bought some rentals, did some rehabs, and along the way, I just found out that I really didn't like being a landlord. I held on to those properties probably till about two and a half years ago, and I ended up selling those properties. And I closed the home inspection business in January of 2008, so about 3.5 years ago. And it was at that time I started with full-time real estate investing, after having done it part-time for all those years. And at this time, and I've kind of just fallen into being a full-time wholesaler, which I really love. I really like it.
Okay. So how long have you been wholesaling, Sharon?
Since about 3.5 years.
Okay. So what is it that you like about wholesaling versus being a landlord or a rehabber?
Well, I just really didn't like being a landlord because I'm not a person that can fix things, and being a single woman, it was just it was more difficult for me. Now, I love rehabbing. That's I love that whole creative process of rehabbing. But about the time I started wholesaling was about the time the market changed here, and the properties were just sitting on the, for so long before they got sold. And I just kind of did some wholesale deals and just kept on doing those. And during the years that I had the home inspection business, we did a lot of direct mail. It was, of course, before the internet, before all of those things. So direct mail was a mainstay. And amazingly, though, direct mail is my best source of leads for my real estate business.
Right. Yeah. So, I know you were saying, prior to, us doing this video interview, that you said that you had a pretty much tremendous success in the inspection industry. So, I I know you were saying that you do things that maybe a little bit different, Sharon.
I'm sorry.
You do things maybe a little bit different in terms of direct mail. Could you just share on that? What it is that you do, maybe.
Well, I think the thing that is that probably makes us different is that we have developed systems for doing it. I think that's where people, one mistake they make is not having a system so that it goes out routinely. Mm-hmm. And the second thing is they give up too soon. Right. They send out 2 or 3 mailings, and let's face it, when you're out looking at houses all day long, it's really hard to stay on track.
Right.
So I tell everybody, you need some sort of a database to put these people in one time. For instance, I do a lot of work with probates. Okay. So we put those people in one time, and then we have their information for, forever. Right. And then I'm a big proponent, while I love technology, I'm a big proponent of having that great big giant wall calendar up on the wall where you schedule your marketing out. This week I'm going to mail this many letters, and you get it all mapped out so that you're a couple of months out in the future. Right. And then if you have a bad week and maybe you don't get it done, then you can still look at your month and go, okay, I have this, and this to do. But it helps to keep you on track. Right. Now, as far as my direct mail, for instance, I mail a lot to absentee owners. And I pretty much mail to them once a month. Okay. And somebody said to me the other day, when do you quit mailing to them? Well, I have really 3 things. 3 times when I might quit. Either I buy the house, somebody else buys the house, or they ask to be taken off the list. That's it.
That's awesome,
because,
Sharon.
That's awesome. It. And
that's awesome.
And because, and I don't have my database, I've got them set up like my absentee owners are in there, and like, for instance, when I put in probates, this month I will put in, this month I put in July 2011. So at any given time, I can look at my database and I can say, okay, I need to mail May, June, July, and August, or whatever this week. And I can choose those folks, and then I can get those letters out. Same way with absentee owners. I bought a house back about 6 months ago from a lady I'd been mailing to for 3.5 years since I first set that database up. Wow. And, people that are not motivated today will very likely become motivated at a different point in time because, all things change with time and circumstance. Right. So, I see people, and I know if you don't have a database and you don't have a system, it's really hard to accomplish this. It is. And maybe need some help, too, because there are places where you can get some help with the actual, physical work of it. But your leads go up with the longer you mail, the percentage of response you get goes up. So if you mail these absentee owners from here to kingdom come until they tell you not to, you'll just be amazed at how many people that will call up and say, you've been mailing me for 2 years now, and I've got to sell this house. Wow. But it's because, see, here's the thing. Most people don't do that. They quit. They quit after 3 or 4 or however many. Right. That's interesting, that you do that. That you say that you mail, and so you either buy the house, somebody else buys it, or, they just simply ask to be taken off the list. So what do you do, Sharon, in the event, say, for example, you mail out to somebody, because I often get people that are actually kind enough to just actually call to say, I received your letter, but I'm not, I'm not interested in selling. So what do you do in that case? Well, in that case, I will usually say, how about if I understand that you're not interested in selling now, but how would you like it if I would just keep you on my list, and if anything changes in the future, you can let me know. And if in the future you really make some other decision and don't want to be on the list, just call me. And amazingly, most people are fine with that because you've given them options.
Right. So when you say that you keep them on the list, so are you saying even at that point, Sharon, that you would still continue to mail them at a later date, or?
Yes, if it's a house that I'm interested in. Now, if it's a house that, I really don't care about, I'm probably going to take them off the list.
Okay.
But, if it's a house that I think that I would like to buy, I usually ask their permission, to keep them on the list, and almost always they say yes.
Really? That's awesome. So that's a great tip. I have to begin implementing that myself. So the next time that, so I'm actually getting ready to send out a pretty large mailing, probably next week. So, but you do find people that, because people can just decide, okay, well, I'm not interested in selling, I'm not even going to bother calling. But I often get people, who are kind enough to just call and say, I got your letter, appreciate it, but, I'm not interested, and they'll tell you why they're not interested. They'll go into detail as to why they don't, they're not interested in selling at the time. So, but go ahead, Sharon.
Something I'd like to kind of clarify there. Let's say that the person called and said their house is 80% financed, or there's some reason, even though you might like the house, that it's not ever going to be one you're probably going to purchase. Then you might take it off, or there will be instances when you will do that, and that's mainly my procedure for absentee owners.
Okay.
I have a little bit different procedure for probates.
Okay.
I don't know how it is I know other areas are different, but in my city, they're published in the newspaper. On or before the 15th of the month, always on a Friday. So you can look at the calendar and tell what date they're going to be in there. And somebody asked me recently, do you wait to mail to these people? And my answer is no, because we go ahead and start putting them in the database, and it's probably going to be 2 to 4 weeks before the letters get out. And those people may have had someone pass away recently, but more likely it's been a while already.
Okay.
So before they got around to probating the estate. So we put those, and I have several different letters, and the first, for this campaign, I always send just white letters, very professional hand-addressed letters, because I want them to know that, we're not ambulance chasers, and we're there to, we are very mindful of their loss. So we will send those out monthly. And around 6 months, I go in and check, because some of those homes, some of those people will have listed them with a realtor because they're actually a retail type of situation. I will fix my list, and then I do it again at about a year. And I have found I buy quite a few homes at about the 1 year point, but when the people it's been about a year. That seems to be a time when they've kind of dealt with the whole thing and they're ready to really finish the estate. But I will also find at that time that a lot of those names, they're simply not there anymore. The houses have been sold, or it's at that point a lot of times they'll say Aunt Sue bought the house or whatever. But most of those, probably about 75% of those people will have done something by that time. So that list gets shorter. But I do keep those few people on there. And that the reason being is some of these folks will decide to be a landlord, and it will take them a year or two to get the house torn up, and then they'll be wanting to get rid of that house. So, but in 3 years, I've only had maybe 2 or 3 people call and say, just don't send me any letters.
Okay. So with the probate, Sharon, like you said, typically around the 1 year mark, you're getting you tend to get the phone call. So how often are you mailing to people in probate? Like, what's the time? What's the the space and time between your mailing?
The frequency, I mail monthly, and I get calls before that time, but I'm saying it's not I get calls sometimes like right away. The children just want to, maybe there's a small mortgage on the house or whatever, and they just they don't want it. They just want to be done with it. So I do get calls right away, beginning right with that first mailing. What I was trying to say is don't give up at the 1 year point, because there are those folks that's just when they decide to deal with it.
Right. Okay.
The probates are a great source of leads.
Right. So, I mean, are you essentially saying the same thing, Sharon, in your letters? I'm not asking you to, disclose specifically what it is that you're saying to them, but is your message pretty much the same when you're mailing, or?
To probates or to...
Well, both, actually, absentee owners and probate.
No. Absentee owners are, the typical message of, being out of town, having a house. Maybe you got this house as a result of a move or a divorce, or, go down the whole list of these are the reasons you might have this house.
Right.
Pretty standard stuff. Now, with probates, my very first letter is telling them that I'm sorry for their loss, and that I just wanted to let them know when they were ready to work on the estate that we do buy property, and it's a very low-key, short, 2/3 of a page letter.
Right.
And then, I will go then, as time progresses, on down the road a little bit, I'll say, I sent you a letter a while back, wanted to see, if you were working on the estate. And then further down the road, I will say something like, I know it's been a while, and I can help you finish out this estate, but it's always very, respectful of their situation. And that's why I never send postcards to probates.
You need it to be personal.
It's just not what I think you should do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's a time where they're grieving, and I think partly that's why I have such good luck with probates, is because partly because of the mail piece. Right.
Yeah, I think that's key. You know what I mean? You gotta kind of switch it up. But is there anything else, Sharon, that you might want to add? That, I mean, you've definitely shared some really good stuff as it relates to direct mail here with whoever you're targeting your mailings towards. Is there maybe anything else you may want to add? Maybe one other tip, or?
Well, while direct mail is certainly a big part of my business, it's not the only thing that I do, and I'm sure it's not the only thing you do.
Right.
I think you have to combine a lot of different things and see what works in your market.
Right.
Some people have great luck with bandit signs. I certainly use those from time to time, and I've had great luck with some handwritten bandit signs like you.
Right.
But I keep trying to use the internet more, but it's kind of tough, because there's so many websites out there. So I try to be a little bit different. But for anyone marketing, I think direct mail should be a part of any real estate investor's marketing plan. And I would say to have a plan. I think that's very important.
Right.
Put that calendar up on the wall and make yourself accountable for what has to be done, and you will see so much more success than if you just kind of wing it.
Right. You're absolutely right, Sharon. So, I mean, I definitely got a lot of value out of this video interview. I really like what you said about, when the question's put to you as to when do you stop mailing, either you buy it, somebody else buys it, or they just tell you outright, hey, please don't mail me anymore.
Yeah.
And I really think that, what I got from you was consistency, and persistence. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
And then the whole systematizing your database of leads, and
Yes.
and the whole calendar thing where you can see it. You know what I mean? Every single day. Which is pretty much working in your subconscious mind. This is what has to get done. So. And I thank you, Sharon, for taking time out of your schedule to share with everybody those $1 million tips on direct mail. And again, Sharon, if you can share with everybody the website for your blog.
Yes, I will do that. Thank you, Iman, for having me so much. It's LouisvilleGalsRealEstateBlog.com.
Okay, can you repeat it one more time, Sharon?
Yes, LouisvilleGalsRealEstateBlog.com.
And it's an awesome blog too. I'm not just saying that because Sharon's on the. Sharon she puts a lot of thought into what she posts on the blog, and you'll find a lot of valuable content on Sharon's blog. So make sure you visit the site. So again, Sharon, thank you. I appreciate it, and as always, I get value from you, and we'll be talking soon.
Thank you, Iman.
All right, Sharon.
Bye-bye.
Say that again, Sharon.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, and you have a great evening. Okay.
I will.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, Sharon. Okay.